Okay. But I did prepare some stuff because I do have some things I really wanted to cover. And basically, if you've been doing any of the Good Vibe Tribe trainings for a long time, some of this might be stuff that you've heard before. Some of it is just my own personal experience in 3 years. And then I also really wanted to address, I feel like there's a lot of buzz with the new Facebook stuff. After leadership, it seemed like people came back and were like, oh my God, this one chick that nobody's ever even heard of, except like, it's like a rumor kind of thing. I don't know. Anyways, and so I just wanted to be kind of give you guys some guidance from my perspective. That doesn't mean you have to do what I say to do, but just some guidance from my perspective and what I see kind of trending as far as social media goes and the way that they're going to approach that come the new year. So I'll kind of start out with that because I feel like that is, the big elephant in the room, that when we get on these calls with like Jackie, she's talking about the best year ever. And she's talking about posting on your personal page and versus like page. And I know Rachel and Amanda, you guys aren't necessarily brand new coaches, but you're still within the realm of new coaching. And so I don't want people to get freaked out. And I think that's kind of what's happening. It's kind of creating this, and for the coaches who are watching this too later on, it's kind of creating this like, well, I don't know what to do. I don't want to post. Like, I had one of my coaches text me and say, well, I don't want to post anything yet because I don't want them to deactivate my account and I'm going to lose all my kids' photos. And I'm like, you are not going to get your freaking account deactivated because you posted one thing about a Beachbody program that you're doing. Like, that's ridiculous. And if you think about it, and I am super hyper literal, and so I think about it in the terms of, okay, so obviously Facebook is not out for Beachbody coaches. Like, they're not like, oh, we got to take down Beachbody. Like, they're talking about just business sharing in general. But if you look at your Facebook feed and your news feed, how many Rodan and Fields people you have, how many 31 people you have, how many Beachbody coaches, how many, name any number of businesses, not even MLMs. I mean, I think of Amanda, Jenna Kenyon, I think from MOPS last year, she has her own business constantly. No, you're telling me Facebook is going to deactivate all of those accounts? That's like 90% of the people who use Facebook. They're not going to take money away from themselves. What they are trying to do is eliminate some of the people who are using personal accounts strictly for business. Like, they're not double tapping, kind of like how we are. They opened a personal account and friended people and are using that strictly for their business. That's different than what we're doing. Completely different than what we're doing, because what we are doing is sharing our day-to-day and our lives through our posts. And if you're doing that well, it's not going to come off the way that's going to throw red flags everywhere. At least, again, and that is completely in my opinion. I have not read Facebook's bylaws. I do know that they discourage you from using your personal page, but I feel like it's really important to remember that Facebook is a business. And businesses need to make money. The way Facebook makes money is through advertising. So when you open a like page, if you've noticed, I mean, just any of the like pages that you guys have ever watched or had, or I don't even know, maybe you guys, I know, Amanda, you don't have a like page, but Rachel, do you have one? You do. Okay. So I'm sure you've already noticed you can have 500 followers on your like page, but you might have a reach of 100. You can unmute yourself anytime. It's not, oh, hi. What am I trying to say? You don't, I see this, I get off track. I'm like, oh, look at the fun kids. Where was I saying? Yeah. So you might have 500 followers, but your reach might only be 100. It might only be 200. It might be 4. I mean, a lot of that is because you're not paying to boost ads. And I am in the belief system that you should have a like page if you're going to be a business coach, but it doesn't have to be your main focus. I did a lot of Josh Coates training last year, and he's very big into that. And my personal business changed dramatically by switching from, because I when I first came into this business, I was told start a like page. So I did. Invite all your friends to your like page. So I did. But don't post everything, the same stuff on your personal page as your like page, because then those people don't need to be seeing the same double content. So you need to be coming up with content for your like page, content for your personal page, like all this stuff. And I got super overwhelmed. And so then I had followed, or I do follow Shalene Johnson really carefully because she's a freaking social media genius. And she was of a belief system that you should exclusively use your like page. And there were a lot of very top ranking Beachbody coaches that went to that. But the stipulation with that is you need to have very loyal followers. You need to have a lot of very loyal followers. And you need to be investing a significant amount of money in like in Facebook ads and boosting posts and all of that, because otherwise, unless a post on a like page gets very good traction very quickly, your reach isn't going to go anywhere until you share it to your personal page. And then at that point, why don't you just post it on your personal page? So I'm of a belief system. After I did that Josh Coates training, it was like massive light bulbs, and I have not missed Success Club since starting that. So it was really important to me. But one of the things he does emphasize is you can max out as long as you're adding the big, like, aha for me was you have to keep adding to your personal page. Like, you have to keep friend requesting. You have to keep growing that network so that new people are seeing your stuff and it's not the same 20 people, 30 people that are always replying. Because that's where I would get frustrated. I would see the same 20 and 30 people replying. And I'm like, why is nobody, it's always the same people. And half the time it was Beachbody coaches. And I'm like, well, you're not helping me any. So when I poured a lot of focus into my personal page and started very daily adding new people to that page and kind of getting a strategy around that, I still post definitely once a day. I would say 5 days a week on my like page because I want to have a presence there, because at some point I'm not going to be able to continue using my personal page if I keep adding between 5 and 10 people a day. I mean, you cap out, I think, at 5,000 friends on your personal page. So at some point I will cap out. I mean, it's not anytime soon, but I will cap out, and I will need to utilize that professional page. And it also just gives you a professional, appearance anyway, like, oh, okay, well, it's a business and it's not just a hobby for her. And there's nothing wrong with it being a hobby. I feel like even if it is a hobby for you, even if Beachbody coaching is a hobby or you're just doing this for a discount, I think what I'm going to present to you guys will help anyway. I think just in general, it will increase what you're doing on social media. So social media in general, your posts should really, there's 3 things that they should do, not all 3 at once, but your post should either educate, entertain, or inform. So if your post is not doing one of those 3 things, don't post it. It's just kind of wasting. If it's just a bunch of complaining, delete it. Like, type it out, make yourself feel better by typing it, and delete it. It's just not worth doing that. But if you can spin that in an informative way, like, for example, Maggie Marlowe, is one of my good friends, and she had a very, very, very negative experience with a business in Charleston. And she's like, I hate doing this, but I've seen and now that this has happened, I've heard of 2 other people that I know. And I just feel it's very, very important that I inform you guys of what happened with this business. So she could have done that in a way that was like, oh my God, this business is so terrible. It's the worst thing that I've ever had, blah, 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 blah. Instead, she spun that into, I feel the need to inform you that this is what's happening. Well, that was picked up by a news station, and come to find out, this business is like massively money laundering. So it was a big deal, and it was good that she informed people that way, because approaching it in a different way maybe would not have gotten any attention, because it just looks like a whiny, complaining person. So just make sure that whatever you're posting educates in some way, entertains, like, even if it's a funny meme. That doesn't mean don't post memes and don't share stuff. Just make sure it does one of those things. And it informs. And I know Amanda and Rachel, you guys are the only two on the call tonight. Neither one of you have this stuff. It's you guys that I'm necessarily addressing about that. And not necessarily anybody. Hopefully even brand new coaches can come in with this information and learn something. So let's see. I see two things from new coaches in the past 3 years that I've been coaching. I see two things. So either, and not even just new coaches. I mean, I'm talking like 6 months to a year into this, people that say they want to work the business, but they aren't really doing the coach behaviors. I'm sure we all know coaches like that. Like they say like, yeah, I'm going to come in, I'm going to work this business. But they either do one of these two things. They either hardly ever post about what they're doing at all, and they go about their business and nothing has changed in their social media. It's still sharing cat videos and pictures of their kids. Or they go the opposite direction, and you can scroll through 1 week of their Facebook timeline and it's Beachbody, 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 workout, shake, workout, shake, workout, shake. Like they flip the switch and they become this like Beachbody posting machine. And I'm not saying stop doing that, but there is a balance in there that keeps you from getting hidden from people's timelines, because I can't tell you how many people I have hidden from my timeline because I can't stand the stuff they post. Like I love them as people, but I can't see them in my timeline because they drive me nuts. And so those two things. And so I don't know, Amanda and Rachel, were either one of you guys on Courtney or Margaret's call yesterday? You were, Rachel? Hold on, let me unmute you, Amanda. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was on.
Were you, Amanda?
I just watched it this evening. It was very fun. I got notes, so.
Yeah, so number one, I just adore those two women in general, but the color wheel that they did, genius. Like I'm such a visual person, and I've made lists. Like I probably have 10 lists in my notebook over the past years when people do trainings and they say like, make a list of 5 things about you that is not about Beachbody. Like I have lots of lists, but that color wheel is just so vibrant and it makes sense. And it's like, fill out this color wheel and make sure you're posting about all the things on your color wheel. It's really important to have it. Yeah.
I tried drawing. I was like, "Ooh, that's so awesome! Like, I'm going to draw this in a minute." Like, it looks like crap. It's like, thanks for sharing this, Courtney, because mine looked like shit.
No, it's too funny.
Well, it gives you a system too. She spoke about a system and how you should post, and I thought, now I have some way to go, something to go by, because I feel like sometimes I'm just posting and not really. There's no system. So.
Well, and don't think that you're alone in that, Amanda. I felt that way probably about 1.5 years into my business. And so what I did, I don't even know where it is anymore. Maybe I have it right here. No, I don't know. I'm not going to spend time looking for it. But my calendar from last summer, it had a morning, afternoon, evening section in the calendar. And I went through on Sunday night and filled it out. And I wasn't specific, but I said workout, PD, funny kid, like meme, shake. And I just gave myself a system based off of a list that I made somewhere about myself. Like, and that way I always knew like, okay, I need to make sure I post a transformation photo on Tuesday. I need to make sure I post this on Sunday. Like it just gave me a very tangible thing to say. I mean, I feel like sometimes some people can be really good at that in their head. I'm not. I need a visual to say like, this is what. So if you fill out that color wheel and you just, okay, post 1, I do this, post 2, I do this, post 3, I do this, post 4, I do this, and you just work yourself all the way around. I loved what she said in that video about, she said somebody was like, oh, Courtney, you don't like doing abs. And she's like, that means what I'm doing is working. And I have noticed that since I have diversified what I post about, people, and I'm not, please don't like think that I'm being rude about this, but people think they know me. They'll be like, oh yeah, I feel like I know you. Especially once I started doing Car Rider Line Confessions. People, like the very first time I ever met one of our new coaches, Sarah Irwin, she was like, I feel like I am your best friend. Like, I have watched this and I have no idea who you are. Like, but I love that she knew me. She knew who I was. And I think there's a lot of value in going live. And as scary as that is, what Courtney said on that video makes so much sense. I had never put what she said into my brain. But what she said makes so much sense, because once I started going live, like almost every day, I feel like people understood what I was writing in my posts so much better because they hear it in my voice instead of them making up what they think my voice sounds like. They know what my voice sounds like, and they know the intention. They know the sarcasm that's there. They know the, snarkiness and they get that because I speak, and that's the way I speak. So, that's part of what I had put in my little notes here, but suck it up and go live, guys. I know it's scary and I know it sucks. And if it sucks, delete it afterwards. Like, it doesn't have to live on forever. Just delete it. I can't tell you how many times I've started Car Rider Line Confessions and Eden has acted like a total jerk. And I've been like, finish, delete, I'm going to spank you. And now I'm going to go back live with a big old smile, like, because I'm going to kill my daughter. Like,
what? He did?
Oh, sorry. Oh.
You okay? Here, go.
So anyways, I just wanted to kind of encourage you guys to go live, because what we all need to be looking at our social media as is building trust. That's basically what we're doing. We're storytelling and we're building trust. We want people to trust us when it comes to all things in life, because then they will trust us in what we are trying to quote unquote sell them, what we're trying to share with them. Because if they don't trust you, they're not going to buy any. They're certainly not going to buy anything from you. So everything that you do, every post that you make is building connective tissue with your audience, with your avatar, with whoever it is that you're trying to reach. And I had heard Courtney talk about her picking out 5 people at the top of every month and posting. I heard that when she did that on this, I don't remember where it was, Set Your Soul on Fire or Soul Warriors, where she made that little small video. And I'm like, that is so genius. Like, because those are the people you're trying to build connective tissue with. And you're not trying to speak in a language in your posts that reaches everybody. You're just trying to reach that one person you're posting to. And then the other people will see that and read that and feel like it's to them. Because I feel like we've all known where you've read somebody's post, especially if you know the person, like in real life, you've read their post and you're like, oh my God, why are they posting this like vague thing about me? Like, I know I have, like, I've read somebody's thing, especially like if we've had some kind of conversation and I feel guilty about something and I'm like, oh my God, she is writing that about me, but she's not saying my name. Like, I know she is. That's what you want other people to feel. Like, you want other people to think like, oh God, it's like we were talking about this the other day and now she's talking about this here. So you want to speak to specific people in your post, not using their name, but direct that, because then it feels more like a conversation and less like advertisements. Let's see. I'm going to post about it. Oh yeah. So a couple of little things here, because I feel like I've kind of given a broad overview of social media, but like, I know a lot of people, especially in the beginning, get really excited about their program, especially like Amanda and Rachel, when you guys onboard new coaches and they're like, yeah, I think I want to do this. One of the very, very easy ways, and I don't know why this never dawned on me, but it really, when I was making notes in this, Amanda, you had said like, oh, I need to learn more about this. And I'm like, I do too. Every single time I present something, I learn something new. So I'm making notes on this, and I was like, oh, why have I never thought about that before? So when they want to post about their 21-day workout or their shift shop workout or their core to force workout or coming up with 80-day obsession, they're going to want to post about that. But you don't want to be that Beachbody coach that's like repping a program constantly. Nobody wants that. Like, they can go on Amazon and buy the thing. So one of the ways you can do that is, instead of using 21-day fix, or like maybe a good one would be like core to force. don't use core to force, use, I don't know, whatever the name of the actual workout you did was. So like with P90X this morning, instead of talking about, oh, I did P90X3, I can talk about I did CVX or whatever it is, CSV, whatever, I can't remember. I think it's CVX, but, or like total synergistics or eccentric upper, like talk about those kind of things, because that's what gets people interested. They're like, what the heck is that? What is she's doing complex upper? Like, to me, that sounds so much more fancy than, oh, she did P90X. Cool. Good for her. Like, especially like Rachel, I know part of your niche is weightlifting and all of that. So if you're using not program names, but actual workout names, that's going to resonate with your audience a whole lot more than using a big program name. Because most of that stuff, what I found with people who are fitness people, they're like, oh yeah, I've heard about 20, or I've heard about P90X, keep scrolling. Like, but when you talk about complex upper, they're like, ooh, what's Rachel doing with complex upper? Like, that's so neat. So that's kind of a little thing. Using transformations 2 times a week is super important, and that's something that I have got to be better about. I'm not nervous about it anymore. I don't really care, but I feel like sometimes I feel like I've been doing it for so long that I keep, I don't know, posting the same kind of thing. So I'll back off for a little while, and then I go back on it. But I want to encourage you guys not just to post like day 0 of 21 day fix and day 21 of 21 day fix. Not always those. Like, I would say probably do a program one like once a month or so, but use a lot of what are they called, like lifestyle photos, like photos of you with your kids, and then a different photo of you with your kids, a before and after, like that. Heather Guthrie from, I think she's on Together Rising, does a really good job because she did not have a ton of weight to lose. Her major transformation has been inward and has been this incredible blossoming of confidence and ownership of who she is. And she posts a lot. I mean, physically, like her body shape hasn't really, I mean, she looks fitter, but she was fit before. But I mean, same with Moira. Moira's fit before. She might be fitter now. But what's changed is the light in her eyes, the smile on her face, the less wrinkled brow, like that kind of stuff. The not hiding behind your kids because you don't want to be in any photos because you just don't feel good about yourself. Like, even if you're super, you know, like you got the body you want, that doesn't mean that inward transformation has happened yet. And I think even if that's all you're doing with a before and after, it doesn't have to be earth shattering. It doesn't have to be like, holy cow, like that's the biggest transformation I've ever seen. I think Megan Holmes does a really, really good job of this. I think she has got her social media really on point lately. Let me see. Let's see. Another thing to be, I know what I wanted to talk about next. So selling, because basically anybody can go buy any challenge pack anywhere. Like, it's just a website. No, why should they order from you? Why should they go to Rachel? Why should they go to Amanda? Like, why should they go to you over me? Because what you're selling is your challenged group experience. And I mean, Amanda, you're in mine, or like, I know you run your own too, but say you were just legit in mine, because I know there are some new coaches who are running fitness with me and they don't have their own, and that's okay. You don't have to have your own. Sell our challenge group, sell your team. If you don't have a big team yet, if you don't have anybody on your team yet, but you know you want to create a team, sell the team that you want to have. Like, that's what we need to be getting across in our posts. Not just, I mean, I'm not saying completely disregard all the challenge pack stuff, but when we're looking at diversifying what we're posting about, that would be a really good thing to go into, is selling your challenge group. Well, what, I guess when I think about that, it's like when I want to go to a business, what do I look at? I look at reviews. I want to see what other people have done with that business. Well, your reviews are transformation photos. They are the victory lap that we do in our group, Amanda. Like, that's what people need to see so that they know that we're doing something. Otherwise, it's just this figurative thing. And so any Transformation Tuesday, if you don't have a transformation photo, like I know some of the people watching the playback of this, maybe you don't even have one yet. That's okay. Go in our team, find a before and after photo, message that person and say, hey, can I use this in my social media for my Woman Crush Wednesday? Like, and talk about that person. Like, oh my gosh, Amanda from my, she's my Woman Crush Wednesday. She's amazing. Have you guys seen what she's done? She's been doing this for like, I always ask for them to give me a little like stat kind of thing. Like, how long were you doing this? Was this just one program? Like a mini interview. Like, I don't need to hear the whole life story kind of thing, but just a little mini interview so that you have something to write about, so that you don't sound like you're just taking something off of Google and slapping it up and being like, my cool friend Amanda, that you like don't even tag in your post. Like, and that's the other thing. Tag that person in your post, even if it's another coach, because our team is still small enough, and Wanderlust, y'all are still small enough, where if you're doing this, even within Viva Vita, it's still small enough where if we have mutual friends, I'm not going to go after your people. Like, all of us, it's not that I don't know. I know for a fact our people on our team have integrity. I built my team with people who have integrity. If you don't have integrity, I don't want you on my team. Like, I had put together, oh shoot, this stupid thing. I've got 10 minutes. Oh my gosh. So free account. This is why I should upgrade, right? Okay. So tag the other person, because that also increases them. So until you have some customers, just use our team and go into that. So let's see. Let me skip really quick to what makes your photos look different from all the others in your scroll, because what you're trying to do is get people to stop and read what you wrote, because Facebook has turned into a very Instagram-like feed. I mean, it used to be some writing and lots of photos, and now it's just getting less and less and less. And now, especially with their graphic-y words that they've done with the background, it all looks like very photo-esque. So you need to make sure that what you're posting is quality photos. I would download, if you don't already have some photo editing apps, I would download a photo editing app. It doesn't take but just a minute, and I will post a list of those apps so we don't have to go through all of them since I'm running low on time. But my favorite one is Afterlight. It's free. It does all kinds of photo editing. Lighter photos always look better. Any photo that is dark, people are just going to scroll right past it. It looks like a low quality photo. They can't see what's going on in it. They're just going to keep going. They're not going to investigate like, oh, what's that thing that she posted? What does that look like? They're just going to keep scrolling. They don't care. And so let's see. So that, and like I said, I will post some apps that I have really, really liked. Canva is another one. I feel like both of you guys know about Canva fairly well, but some of the newer coaches might not. It's canva.com. It's a free website. There's also an app for it on your phone. You can make, that's how I put words on stuff. And then I also pay for an app because my background is in graphic design. And so I care about really well-designed stuff. And there's an app called Over, and it's $35 a year, and it's incredible. Like, I don't pay for apps. Like, I don't upgrade anything. I'm super cheap. I try to keep my business costs as low as possible. It is worth every penny of that $35 I paid. I use it 3 times a week, 4 times a week. It's great. Let's see. So another thing, when you're diversifying what you're posting about, ask people for their opinion. People love to give you their opinion. And let me just give you a little trick. It doesn't even matter if you care what their opinion is. Like, when when he was coming home from his deployment, I posted like 4 photos of a dress that I was going to like buy. I'd already bought a dress. Guys, like, I don't need people's opinion on, I don't crowdsource because I'm like, oh my God, I care what Facebook people care about my dress. Like, yeah, I mean, in a way, sometimes I do. I'm like, oh yeah, I could see her opinion on it. But 9 times out of 10, if I'm asking for an opinion, it's because, well, now that I say this, you're going to be like, now I'm never giving Danielle my opinion. I do want to know your opinion because I think it's just kind of funny to see what everybody else's opinion is. But you don't have to really do what their opinion is, but it's more for engagement. It's also more to get to know that other person, especially like running shoes. And you don't even have to say like, I feel like what I have found has been the best for, oh, sweetly, yeah, for getting other people's opinion is not just asking for their opinion, not just saying like, say we'll talk about running shoes. Like, hey, what's your favorite running shoe? Like, you might get some engagement there and you might have it blow up. I don't know. It kind of depends on if your avatar people are watching or not. But what I have found is putting together a photo collage of like 4 photos, labeling them A, B, C, and D, and saying, which one of these is your favorite? Like my haircuts, lipsticks, shoes, dresses, bathing suits, like whatever. With the bathing suit, like for example, because I qualified for Hawaii and the Dominican, I made sure, and it was scary as SHIT since there's kids listening, to post a photo of myself in 4 different bikinis. But I did. I did one post where it was like, you know, where I screenshotted a bunch of bathing suits and was like, which one would you pick? And then I actually did go out and buy, I think I bought like 3 of those bathing suits and posted them on Facebook. And that I really did care about people's opinions. But it also gave me the opportunity to talk about why I was buying that bathing suit. It also gave me the opportunity to talk about, I've never worn a bikini in my entire life. This is scary as crap. Like, more connective tissue. I mean, I can't tell you how many people messaged me after that and were like, oh my God, the fact that you have confidence to wear that is so great. Like, okay, cool. But that's building connective tissue, that kind of thing. And so that's what you want. That's what all of this is about, is doing that. And just make sure, like I said, I keep going back to that color wheel, but make sure that's not just, unless you are a fitness professional, you are more than that. Like, even if it's silly things, like she was talking about last night, like wearing denim vests and wearing ridiculous clothing. Like Matt's is headstands. He loves headstands. So he does headstands all over the place. Like that's part of his social media color wheel. And it's been really cool to see him kind of up his game in social media lately. And I've been really excited to watch that. So it's my little husband shout out. It's really cute. Even if nothing ever comes from it, I think it's really cute. Let's see. What else did I want to say before we go? Did you guys have any questions really quick? We have like 4 minutes. I'll unmute you guys. I think that's really kind of all I wanted to say. I'll unmute. Y'all have any questions specifically?
I don't think I have many questions. But there's that what to post Facebook page. And it will give you like a lot of like random things, like, you know, polling people about things, or like the thing that I posted, like, you know, would you rather have like, you know, your house clean itself or whatever, just something like that to build engagement so that you keep popping up in other people's news feeds. So, cause like I had, you know, people commenting on that and liking it, people that I don't normally see. So like last night before I went to bed, I was just like commenting on everybody's, you know, comments and stuff, and that boosts it more. So the more that
you're
you
exactly
do that,
right.
Just, you know, that gets you seen more in people's news feeds.
Yeah. And another thing to kind of piggyback off of that real quick, Rachel, is go, and maybe you've already done this, but the ones that you don't interact with very often, go in there and click on their thing and go interact with their stuff. Send them a message, because that stuff is what populates you and other people's fields. If you, like I said, if you feel like it's the same 20, 30 people who are always commenting, the same 5 people even that are always commenting, most likely it's because prior to all of this, you were not very active on Facebook. And so you were hidden from their timeline because you weren't doing very much and they weren't interacting with you. And Facebook will only show you what you're interacting with. They've got an incredible algorithm system that keeps your newsfeed where, I mean, to the point of addiction, of wanting people to continue to scroll and scroll and scroll. So they're going to show you what you interact with and what you want to see. I have less than a minute. Amanda, did you have anything you want to share or
just on the last page? Is that a page you pay for, or that's just something you can go create?
No, it's a business page. So you can create one at any point in time. You can create 50 of them if you want.
They're
and
free.
We can have, they're free. It's just, it's a different kind of page.
And if you want to boost posts, like you can pay for it, but a lot of times, like after a few weeks or a month or whatever, they'll like give you a credit so that you can boost your posts.
Oh,
you know, here's $10 to boost your post, and more people will see it or whatever. So
yeah.
Okay.
And there's lots and lots of training on that, Amanda. If you go into our team training and just search like page, you will find, or even YouTube. I mean, there's hours and thousands of hours of training on it. So, but you don't, I mean, it's very easy. It's very similar as far as setting up like a personal page.
But from your like page, you can put out hard invites.
Yes. And that's what you need.
It's a business page.
And that's what you need to be careful with going through the next year. It's just be sneaky about it. You don't have to like stop doing it. Just be a little more and neither one of you are struggling in this area at all. What both of you guys are doing is totally fine. It's more of the like, join now, buy this right now. That's the stuff that they're going to be like, and no.
Right.
So, okay. Well, guys, this is going to cut us off, so I don't want to end without saying thank you. But thank you guys for your time tonight, and thank you for coming. I hope that you learned something. I hope that you can take this back with you. I'll post the replay to you too, Rachel, so you can share it with Wonderlust and your whole team. So,
okay.
All right.
Thanks.
Bye, guys. Happy